r/askreddit, what famous TV shows that everyone is talking about but you watched one episode and noped the EFF out? I tried 2 episodes of The Purge and noped out of it. There's a TV show, The Walking Dead. I enjoyed it at first, but after a couple of seasons of the exact same shit on endless repeat, I noped out. Seems like they still never fucking learn. 2 Broke Girls. Bloody hell, that was bad. Kat Dennings' cleavage carried that show for about 135 episodes, more than the premise and writing of the show deserved. Bridgerton. I tried on multiple occasions and I just couldn't get into it. I enjoyed the TV show for the humor and costumes. The Bridgerton novels are absolute garbage. I love to read, but I really hate my decision to buy the second book. I do like watching Bridgerton, but I think the best part of the show is the musical composition. Euphoria. Just couldn't do it. If I want to be depressed and hate humanity, I'll watch Fox News. Riverdale. Scrolled way too far down to find this answer. I was well aware of the controversial content, but judging by that first episode alone, I was still unprepared, lol. I want everyone in this thread to list a show they do think is good along with the one they noped out of, just so I can silent judge their taste. Yes, very. No, The Walking Dead. Yellowstone. Someone compared it to The Sopranos on horses. Later I said to them, you've never actually watched The Sopranos, have you? Handmaid's Tale. I liked the first 2 seasons, but it does go downhill after. My main problem is that the protagonist has some pretty serious plot armor. She constantly breaks the rules, but receives little to no punishment, whereas other characters receive incredibly severe punishments for pretty minor infractions. I liked the first 2 seasons. The setting is interesting, but holy shit, she does some dumb shit I could not keep watching. It's so grim. Torture watch. Big Bang Theory. The cringe was too strong. It gets significantly worse as it goes, which somehow makes it significantly better. It's like watching a train wreck. It's like the writers keep seeing how far they can push it, and no one ever tells them to stop. For me, it's due to the show making fun of the cast because they are nerds. A show for the masses. IT Crowd, on the other hand, made fun of the cast because of their nerdy antics. A show for the nerds. As a nerd, I didn't like people laughing at what I liked growing up, and I hate that the show solidified that, normalizing the ridiculing of nerds and their culture. Oh, I'm going to play D&D, so nerdy, hahaha, what a dork, hahaha. Grey's Anatomy. In nursing school all the women were enthralled with it, so I decided to give it a try. Didn't even finish the first episode. It's a soap opera that just happens to be set in a hospital. Breaking Bad. To this day, I'm 20+ years sober from meth. I just can't and won't watch it, so I don't get the memes, the gifs, any of the fucking references. I don't hate on it, I'm sure it's a thrilling show. That's probably the most valid reason to now watch. It's a good show, but not worth risking your sobriety. I hated Girls when it was on TV, when everyone seemed to really like it. Nowadays I feel like it's pretty universally hated though. At least it brought us good soup. Adam Driver. Sex and the City. I had a friend who was into it and I wanted to see what all the fuss was about, and it's basically about a girl in love with a guy that will keep on playing with her and her never learning anything and shopping. So shallow. It is an extremely shallow show, and the characters, especially Carrie, are actually very unlikable. But if you grew up watching it in the 90s as a girl, it has a hold on you for some reason. It's just a feeling you get from the New York vibe and fashion. Sons of Anarchy, though I do intend to give it another go in the future. My mom loves it and wants me to watch it so bad, but I just wasn't grabbed at all. Sons of Anarchy is great when you watch through the lens of this is a pre-Watershed soap opera version of what the show could be. At the time, shameless. I can see why people liked it, but coming from a family similar to that, I couldn't find it entertaining. I either had / or had dealt with people that reminded of the characters and found myself disliking all of them. Mrs. Brown's Boys, utter shite. I can't even get through an advertisement for that show. How I Met Your Mother. Tried watching multiple episodes, but I can't for the life of me understand how people found that show funny. It's one of the few major sitcoms for which I know nobody that rewatches it. It's like it resonated with a bunch of people for a very specific time, then everyone moved on and the show that is dated. Suits. My wife binged her way through it a while back, and I finally got round to watching the S1E01 EP a few days ago. I just can't. Not because of Megan or anything, but I just don't think I have it in me for 9 seasons of those types of characters all bouncing off each other. Schitt's Creek. Everyone says it takes a few episodes to get into it, but I just can't. I enjoyed it for the cringe alone. It was a nice mix of bad sitcom humor and drama, but that is definitely not for everyone. I'm also part of the LGBTQ+ community, and seeing that in a popular show without it being the core of the show was nice. Just something about a character that gets brought up on occasion. 2 and a half men, ew. Yellowstone. Couldn't get into it at all. Rings of Power. Rings felt like it was something alien masquerading as a close friend. Or at least that's how I perceived it from consuming some promotional material and 15 minutes of the first episode. I can understand why people would like it, but I don't think this needed to exist. Yeah, I never actually watched a whole episode, but I had like borderline alcoholic friends telling me how funny it was, but coming from a family with a history of alcoholism, I just didn't really find it funny. Rick Gurton. I usually like period movies / shows, but the modern songs being played by string quartet along with characters I didn't care about was like a big no. Entourage. Cringy douchebags. Big Bang Theory. Show is simply not funny. You. It was just so creepy. I used to watch you through my neighbor's window, never liked it too much. Friends. As I watch it as an adult, it's cringy. I don't know how no one hated Ross, but as a kid, it was what my parents watched. For me, it's background noise. It was a show about people I wouldn't spend a half hour a week with in real life. Except Phoebe. Phoebe could hang out. Schitt's Creek, I even tried twice. Tiger King. 2 episodes in, we quit. Riverdale. There was an episode where the redhead says to Archie's dad, "You're looking dilfy today," and I just had to stop. I think if I tried to watch it now I would totally agree. It was the perfect mindless nonsense to escape from full-time WFH with small kids at home. Friends. I have watched a couple of episodes. I didn't laugh at all, I found it cringe AF. I couldn't really get into Stranger Things, sad face. Euphoria. People don't really talk about it constantly anymore, but Schitt's Creek. This was almost me. I watched it with my family and we all thought the first few episodes were rubbish. Then all of a sudden it completely transformed and was consistently fantastic thereafter. Was odd to witness, but I'm glad we stuck with it. Seinfeld. I tried it multiple times, but I just couldn't get into it. You didn't start with season 1, right? The Office, US version. I just don't find it funny or interesting. First season is kind of bad. Even when I rewatch Office I always skip first season. You have to be into extreme camp to like Riverdale. Taking it seriously does not work. Grey's Anatomy. House MD is one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and I have never watched Grey's, so a few months ago I went on Netflix and watched the first episode and really did not care for it. Also, did some research and found if I was going to watch more, to stop after season 10. I'm a House fan and I find Grey's Anatomy too soap opera vs medical mystery. The equation is off for me, lol.